Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a classic French dessert, a creme brulee. The three ingredients plus an extra one that we're going to need is heavy cream, 3 egg yolks, which I have already cracked, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. And this will make 2 to 3, maybe 4 on the smaller side creme brulees. So let's get started. First thing that we have to do is combine egg yolks and sugar. So I'm going to start by whisking my yolks to break them. So I'm going to start by breaking my yolks and whisking them lightly. Very well. Now I'm going to add my 3 tablespoons of sugar. And continue whisking until sugar has melted and everything is fully incorporated. My eggs are starting to look creamy and pale yellow, which is exactly what I want. I'll keep whisking just a little longer. To absolutely make sure all my sugar and yolks have been fully incorporated. So my eggs have been combined. Now onto the cream. One of the great modern day conveniences is this thing here. We call it a scale. And what I would like to do is I would like to weigh out 8 ounces of heavy cream. So I put my pot on the scale, press tare, and measure away. No measuring cups required, which is a big bonus in my opinion. So we're gonna weigh out 8 ounces. Okay, so we have weighed out our 8 ounces of cream. Last but not least is an optional but very much recommended ingredient, and that is vanilla beans. We have scraped the seeds, and now we add them into our mix. Just like so. We take out the bean and scrape out the beautiful seeds that are in it. Now what we can do is we can put this pot onto heat and bring it up to just below a simmer. So you can see here are all the beautiful little vanilla seeds, which are flavoring the cream. You want to give them a light whisk just to break the seeds up a bit. And now this is going to come to a simmer, or a light poaching temperature. I don't want this to boil. And this is the texture of the yolks and the sugar that we're looking for. Light and fluffy and incorporated. Beautiful. Now my cream is at just slightly below poaching temperature. That's exactly where I want it. Now we're going to perform what they call in the industry is tempering. You would like to bring the eggs up to the similar temperature of your hot cream. And you do that by gently incorporating a little bit of hot cream into your yolks while stirring somewhat vigorously. And the idea here is to just combine the two gradually. And we do it gradually because we don't want to scramble the yolks, which are raw, prior to cooking the creme brulee in the oven. What's going to happen is the yolks are going to expand and coagulate and set the cream around them in the oven once we cook the actual creme brulees. But now the yolk should remain raw. So one last final step before creme brulees can go in the oven is to strain them. Here I'm using a sort of a spatula to help me get all the cream and all of the eggs and all of the dissolved sugar into my mix. So here we have created our base for creme brulee. It is sweetened, it is flavored with vanilla, and it's absolutely delicious. The last step is to portion them into ramekins. You could use something like a ladle to portion this, but I'm just gonna go freehand. Now, as vanilla beans are somewhat heavier, I've noticed a lot of them settle on the bottom of the pot. So I would like to get in there and place just a few more of those vanilla bean seeds rather, onto the creme brulee, onto the baking. This process of baking the creme brulee requires gentle cooking. And we achieve that by cooking the creme brulees in what they call a bain-marie. And that is a double bath. A French name for it is bain-marie. You want gentle heat around the creme brulee so they, instead of being shocked in a 325-degree oven, the water disperses the heat and allows for very sort of gentle penetration of the heat into the center of the creme brulees, which is ultimately such a satisfying characteristic of a creme brulee when the custard is equally set from edge to edge. So the creme brulees are in my vessel of choice, which happens to be a frying pan. As chefs, we have to be quite adaptive to what we use, and I happen to have lots of frying pans around. But a roasting pan, a pie dish, anything with size that can hold a little bit of water will do. And here I'm adding water that just came off the boil. And I'm gonna go and put just about enough water in there to cover the creme brulees halfway up their sides. So this is what they look like. There's just enough hot water, which happens to be steaming right now. There's just about halfway through enough water to cover these guys. You can see all the vanilla beans floating in there. There it is. Okay. Now this is a bit of a chef's trick, is to cover the surface of your creme brulees while they bake with something like a piece of parchment paper, just so the top, which has sugar and cream in it, does not caramelize and brown in the oven. We want this custard to remain as neutral in flavor as possible. Just vanilla, cream, and eggs. So I've just placed the custards in the oven, and we'll see them in about 15 minutes. All right, so it's been about half an hour actually, slightly longer than original 15 minutes. But the obvious question is always, how can you tell when your creme brulees are done? So here we are. They've been baking for a half hour, and look at the shake. I shake the pan. There's still some jiggle in them, but it's not a water-like jiggle. You can see it's a jiggle of something that is, well, warm. You can think of it as a warm jiggle, you know? It's together. It is a solid unit, yet it's still hot, and that is why we have the jiggle, but it's not watery. It's not a wave of liquid, loose liquid on top. It's a homogeneous jiggle, if you will. I don't know. That is my take on how to figure out whether or not the creme brulees are. See? They're just ever so slightly loose. But they're not even loose. They're together. They're just hot, so they haven't been set yet. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. All that is now left to do is to take them out of the water bath. Careful, they're hot. And to brulee them on top and enjoy them. Voila. How's that working? Our creme brulees that we made yesterday have had a chance to cool and fully set in the fridge. And this is what they look like after they are set. So essentially, there's no more jiggle. They're beautiful and shiny. Vanilla beans, as you can see right there, all over the custard, and as you can, it's fully set in there. It's ready to eat. It's absolutely stunning. So this is the creme part. The brulee comes from us putting sugar on it and, well, torching. So why don't we start with about a tablespoon per on each. And what we can do is we can shake it around just like that to cover it evenly, and we can get rid of the rest. So that way there's a nice even layer. Maybe a little bit more on that one, and the rest can come out. I'm just cleaning the sugar off the rim before torching it. That way the ramekin itself stays nice and clear. Sometimes the propane torch goes out, you just relight it and you go again. And that's how you make creme brulee. Don't forget to turn the torch off. Look, it got bruleed. Can you see okay? Sweet, look at that shine. And ladies and gentlemen, mom and sister, mom and dad, whoever's watching, this is how you make creme brulee. Absolutely delicious, super simple dessert to share with somebody. Make it and share with somebody. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, bye now. All right, on to the most important piece. Is it holding up? Yeah, that's delicious.